Hello everybody, this is Haley with Tarot from Beyond, here to provide Cancer with their January 2020 reading. I know I'm late uploading, but this is for the remainder of January for the Sun, Moon, and Rising signs of Cancer. Cross watchers are also welcome. Thank you so very much for joining me. For those of you who are interested in a private read, if this reading resonates with you, I'm sure you know the drill. Those of you who watch tarot, if not, go ahead and take a look in the description box where my email and link to website is located. Okay? I'm only accepting payments via Cash App at this time. All right, lovies, Cancer. Let's see what the overall energy for you is. Y'all feeling like little players and playerettes these days? We've got the Knight of Wands, okay? The Knight of Wands is an energy of, I'm just going to tell it like it is when I see these cards, okay? The Knight of Wands is someone who just does whatever the fuck he wants to do and he ain't tripping off of shit. Not too much thought is being put into what you're doing for the remainder of this month, Cancer. And maybe that's appropriate for some of you. Some of you maybe need to just get shit done. This is also the player card, right? So let's see how this relates to either love or just, whatever. Well, first card is the 1111 card, or the Four of Wands, okay? That's the marriage card. So we're talking about relationships, and that's the husband. Wow, the King of Pentacles. And then we have the Three of Wands. Wow. Okay, so far in looking at these three cards, when I see the Four of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. We had a lot of wand energy here. I only have one card that speaks of earth energy or stability. Cancer, I want to know how many of you are moving on because somebody called themselves trying to be a player and probably ruined an entire fucking marriage. Some of you, Cancer, may be dealing with going through a divorce or thinking about walking away from a partner because they decided to be a player. Either you guys decided to be the player this month or realized that whoever you thought was marriage material may not be. Because this Three of Wands is indicative of someone who is going off into the distance and they're leaving where they are now. This person's saying, I can't stay here. I may not know where I'm going, but I can't stay here. And the overall energy and the whole reason for this is because of this player energy. The Knight of Wands, the Knight of anything, speaks of teenager behavior. We're not talking about someone who acts like a grown-up, someone who acts like, they're not thinking a whole lot before they do whatever they do. Continuing on, we've got the Star card. We've got the Ace of Swords, and then we've got the Three of Pentacles, okay? And looking at this, I'm seeing that some of you, Cancer, feel like, okay, I see now what it is. Possibly because you were talking to someone else. And also, I'm looking at the Star card, and I feel like your intuition, or you feel like the universe is telling you what it is in your relationship. Some of you are seeing your relationship for what it's worth these days, and you're not too happy with what you're seeing. Some of you, Cancer, are seeing that you're dealing with a player, and I don't think many of you, Cancer, are having it. I think a lot of you, Cancer, are like, fuck this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a player. Been there, done that. And you're corresponding with some of your friends. Some of you may be even going through legalities, because the Three of Pentacles talks about like divorce, any type of legalities. Those of you who may not be going through anything that serious have just, been corresponding with your friends and coming to the conclusion that, this is just a no-no, right? Continuing on, we have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups strongly speaks of walking away from something you've invested in for quite some time emotionally. Two of Swords talks about making choices. And then we got 14, the major arcana 14, which is Temperance. So many of you are like, dude, the only way that I think that I will be able to heal or be the type of person that is emotionally stable is by making the decision to leave. So I think many of you, Cancer, may be dealing with someone who messed around, played around, fucked off the relationship to some degree, found that what they thought was marriage material is not. You know it's best to leave. However, I bet you this is a struggle for many of you. Of course, if you've invested in something emotionally, right, it's hard to walk away. And then we have this Ace of Cups, which talks about planting the new seed of love. Eight of Wands talks about speed, communication, or travel. And then we've got the Three of Swords, which talks about heartache. So Cancer, I'm seeing that many of you are possibly accepting the fact that what you thought was marriage material at one time probably is not. And you're communicating with this person that they hurt you. And that's what this Three of Swords talks about. And like the decision that you have to make is, am I going to plant the new seed of love with this person and forgive them even though they hurt me? Or am I going to dwell on the hurt? But you're communicating this with possibly your friends and also the person who called themselves being this Knight of Wands or displaying this Knight of Wands energy. Either this is you, Cancer, or this is the person that you're dealing with. And closing you out before I get into your oracles, my loves. Okay. Last three cards are the Six of Pentacles. We're talking about Judgment. And then we have the King of Cups. What you're able to determine, though, Cancer, is that even though this person may have acted like a teenager and fucked up in one area, I do believe that this person is now conveying to you that they're sorry and that they do love you. And I do see the love, and that's what this King of Cups is indicative of. And the Six of Pentacles talks about give and take. And this tells me that you are probably letting them know that give and take is very important in this relationship. But I also feel that maybe the significant other that I'm referring to for you, Cancer, possibly let you know what you may have done in the relationship that caused them to justify this teenage behavior. And closing you out, Cancer, we got the Six of Cups, got the Five of Swords, and then we got the Five of Cups. Some of you are really bummed out behind this. You're thinking about the love that you had in the past with this person because the Six of Cups talks about past energy. But the Five of Swords talks about scandalousness, feeling like you got to watch your back, feeling like someone's doing shit behind your back. And this whole thing is just saddening to you. But see, this Five of Cups always reminds you that your feelings are yours to choose from. You're in control of your emotions and your feelings, and you don't have to dwell on what you don't have in this relationship. Dwell on what you do have in this relationship, because usually when we pull the plug on a relationship, that shit is pretty permanent and it's hard to get it back once you end it, even if the person did fuck up. Because if you think that a person's not going to fuck up and you're going to be with this person until you're 80, you're sadly mistaken. You're going to fuck up, they're going to fuck up. The question is this person worth the trouble? So Cancer, it looks to me like that's what you're going to be contemplating this month. I'm going to go ahead and pull some oracles for you guys before I go ahead and close out this reading, okay? If this resonated with any of you, like I said, go ahead and hit me up. I'll be more than happy to go further into your cards or your personal situation. If you're having a tough go of it and you'd like to know what the probability is of the relationship being something that you need to spend your time on or invest in any further, if you have questions about that and you feel that you want Spirit's insight on that, please feel free to go ahead and book a private read with me. And the way you would do that is go to my website, go to the Cash App app, and then make your payment, and then send me an email, and I will be emailing you within the next 24 hours after that so that we could discuss a good time, a date and time for your private read, okay? So for your oracles, I'm going to pull two for you, Cancer, okay? And let's see what Spirit has to say in your oracles. I'll pull one from the bottom and one from the top. The one on the bottom says, Wings of Isis, uniting with the angelic self. Wings of Isis. Okay, Isis was that Pharaoh. She was the Pharaoh's woman. Remember that? And Isis was really more or less known for looking out for her man. That's really what she's known for. Uniting with the angelic self. There's a part of yourself, Cancer, that you really need to take a look at and ask yourself, are you compromising your love for self in this relationship. Make sure you're not compromising love for self in this relationship, okay? And with the first part of this, looking out, letting you know that Isis was the type of person that she looked out for her man, for her pharaoh, for Osiris. That's what she's known for. Some of you, Cancer, are listening to what other people have to say about how you need to proceed in this relationship that you're in. Make sure you don't do that either, because this is your relationship, not theirs. Take their advice with a grain of salt, but ultimately the decision is yours, and so are the consequences or the rewards of the choice that you make. Okay, Cancer? So, the next oracle is Scales of Balance, ancient tantra of the soul. Scales of balance. So when we're talking about the scales of balance, and given that you had the Six of Pentacles in your reading, which talks about give and take, right? Scales of balance. Make sure that everything is balanced in this relationship and that things are fair. Because when we're talking about scales of balance, we're talking about fairness. Make sure you're being fair to yourself, and make sure that your partner is fair to you in making this decision. So when you're looking at your relationship this month, for those of you who possibly learned that your significant other may have fucked up, right? With that teenage behavior and thought process with this Knight of Wands overall energy here. Now the ball is in your court, and you have to decide, are you going to dwell on the sadness that comes with that? Because you know what? What I'm seeing in these cards, Cancer, is that even though this person may have done this, it doesn't mean they don't love you, because they have a lot of growing up to do too, and they have a lot of shit they got to work on themselves. And when we make mistakes, it doesn't necessarily mean that we don't love the other person. It just means that we need to learn how to stop fucking up. So each one of your situations is different and individual, and that's where the private reads come in, because Spirit will then go in and allow me to hone in on everybody's individual situation. But with these oracles, what I'm seeing for the most part, and in general, Cancer, you're being told to make sure you're not compromising self-love, and make sure that you're being fair to the other person in the relationship, and make sure they're being fair to you. You have to look at those things and let those be the determining factors as to what the outcome ought to be. All right, Cancer? All right, I'll check in with you guys next month, and enjoy the rest of the month. Namaste.